If there were something such as style points in chess, queen sacrifices would get all of them. This sacrifice that is easily one of the flashiest and most surprising moves that can happen in chess. So what is a queen sacrifice? A queen sacrifice happens when a player voluntarily lets the opponent capture their queen. The player offering the queen sacrifice does so to try to gain an advantage like more material, a better position, or checkmate. This position occurred in one of the most famous chess game of all time, known as the Opera game, a game between Paul Morphy playing white and Duke Carl playing black. In the 16th move, Morphy sacrifices his queen with the move queen to b8 check. Knight take b8, taking the queen, and white play rook to d8 checkmate. Like other types of sacrifices, queen sacrifices can be sound or unsound. Sound sacrifices give the player enough advantage to compensate for the loss of the queen. Unsound sacrifices, on the other hand, fail to do so. Why are queen sacrifices important? Queen sacrifices are not only important because they look good, they are also a powerful surprise weapon that players often overlook. Since the queen is the most powerful piece in chess, it's not uncommon for players to dismiss the idea of giving it up voluntarily. For this reason, queen sacrifices can catch an opponent off guard and pave the way for a brilliant victory. Here is a well-known example of this kind of sacrifice. It comes from game between Edward Lasker, a distant relative of world champion Emanuel Lasker, and George Thomas. After 10 moves, it was in that position that Lasker uncorked the stunning sacrifice. Queen take h7 with check, and after that move, there was no way for Black to save his king. Black has a forced move, king take h7. White play knight take f6 with check, capturing the bishop and creating double check with the knight and the bishop on d3. And Black has two choices. King h6. The king advances. He is not happy to leave his castle, but there is no choice. Now Lasker must drive the king toward his hungry pawns. Knight e g4 with check, driving the king up the board while the other knight and the bishop cover the king's attempts to retreat back inside the castle. Forced king g5, h4 with check. The king is again forced farther into White's camp. Forced king f4, g3 with check, driving the king forward. Forced king f3, bishop e2 with check. Humorously, the black king is forced into White's castle. Forced king g2, rook h2 with check. The king is driven forward one last time. Forced king g1, king d2 and checkmate, including White's only non-participating piece, the rook on a1, and even allowing it to deliver checkmate. Wonderful! As you can see, queen sacrifices can turn the game upside down and create wonderful chess masterpieces.